is it anywhere?
Hello world, this is Coco Martek, and today we're going to review this tall, lengthy, powerful, and affordable smartphone by Infinix. This is my review of the Infinix Hot 10.
TT with Coco Martek.
What stand out the most for this exquisite smartphone are the design, the power, how big this phone is, and the price. But before we dive into the specs of the phone, let's do a quick unboxing. Unboxing is pretty plain and straightforward. You have a green box highlighting the G70 processor and the 128GB of internal storage at the front. The inclusions in the box are the SIM ejector tool, the user guide, the warranty card, a coupon from PUBG Mobile, a pair of wired headphones, the charger brick, the micro USB cable, a jelly case, and a screen protector.
And it's part of the big yeah, if you did the video to sort of like humiliate me to get.
The Infinix Hot 10 has dimensions of 171.1 by 77.6 by 8.9 millimeters. It weighs at 204 grams, which is pretty light relatively to its size. It has a glass front, a plastic back, and a plastic frame. As you can see, the design of the back is elegant. It looks amazing, especially when you see it in person. They're calling it the gem cut design. It looks clean and slick. This is the Moonlight Jade color, and you also have the Ocean Wave and the Obsidian Black. At the front, it has the humongous 6.78-inch IPS LCD screen with 82.2% screen-to-body ratio with 720 by 1640 pixels, having a pixel density of 264 pixels per inch. This display, even though it's an LCD screen, produces vibrant colors and deep blacks. I also like that it has an 8-megapixel punch hole design at the upper left of the display, since I prefer it over a water drop notch style. It has slim side bezels and a huge chin. The punch hole has slight bleedings, but it's only visible if you really look closely. The bezels on the rounded corners are also not consistent with the corners of the display, but I still don't mind it. Again, this phone is tall and slim since it has an aspect ratio of 20.5 by 9. It's great for gaming, super amazing experience, but when watching videos and movies, you'll have larger black bars at the side since most videos are exported with an aspect ratio of 16 by 9. But in terms of overall quality, the screen is great. It's vibrant, sharp, and very immersive. The screen also does not get so bright, so it would be harder to watch videos and playing games when you're using it outside. But other than that, it's an amazing display since it's huge, so playing and watching media content is amazing and satisfying. At the left side of the phone, you have the SIM card tray where you can put 2 nano SIM cards with 4G LTE connectivity and a micro SD card to expand your storage up to 512 gigabytes. At the right side of the phone, you have the volume rocker and the power button below it. At the bottom, you have the 3.5mm headphone jack port, the speaker grill, a microphone, and a traditional micro USB port. It's almost 2021, so maybe everyone should be putting USB Type-C ports already, even for budget smartphones, since it's a big deal for some people. At the back, we have the 4-lens layout, which we will discuss later in the video. You also have the flash for the camera and the fingerprint scanner. If your priority for buying a new phone are a great display and great gaming performance, then you might want to consider buying this phone. Again, this is not a sponsored video, so everything I will say are based on my personal opinions. Speaking of gaming, the Hot 10 is powered by a 12nm octa-core MediaTek Helio G70 with a GPU of Mali G52. This phone is more than capable for playing games. You won't lag with Mobile Legends with high settings even during 5v5 clashes. While the phone is fast, the 20.5 by 9 aspect ratio is also compatible to play in full screen. So again, playing is really immersive and fun. Audio quality coming from the speakers is also good. Same goes with playing Wild Rift. high settings and minimal lags and frame drops. Most of the time, really, playing is smooth, again, even with 5v5 clashes. For Call of Duty, you can play it with medium graphic quality and high frame rate settings, and playing this game is super smooth and satisfying because of that massive screen. The phone may get hot, of course, if you continuously play for long hours, but that's expected, and you guys should rest anyway. You can also play Genshin Impact with this phone, although it says in the settings that the recommended settings to play for the graphics is low. Since anything above it is overclocked, you can actually play smooth gaming experience with the maximum settings. Since Genshin Impact is one of the most graphic intensive games, and it's playable with the Hot 10, so you can play most of the games with ease. In terms of Geekbench 5, it scored a higher score against the competition. It scored a single core of 381 and a multi-core of 1317 compared to the Redmi 9 single core of 359 and 1245 for the multi-core. Poco M3's 304 single core and 1358 for the multi-core, and Tecno 6 377 multi-core and the 1296 for the multi-core. The advantage is not really that high, but the Hot 10 feels faster when using the phone. So make sure to subscribe because I'm going to compare the Hot 10 against these new smartphones. The phone that I'm using has a 4GB of RAM with an internal storage of 128GB. It also has Bluetooth 5.0 and an FM radio, and the Hot 10 only costs 6,990 pesos. For the price, hands down, this is worth it. You also have the fingerprint scanner at the back and the face recognition to unlock your phone. I personally like the fingerprint scanner at the back since you can easily unlock your phone while wearing a mask. Both the fingerprint scanner and the face unlock are quick and reliable, so thumbs up for that. Although the phone is super amazing, it's not perfect. The cameras of this one, although there are 4 lenses, should be better if they added an ultra-wide lens. The main lens is a 16-megapixel lens. You have 2 megapixels for the macro lens and a 2 megapixel for the depth sensor, and the fourth one is just for the low light sensor, which is basically being able to shoot in night mode. The 4 lens setup is more of a gimmick for me. The ultra wide lens is more useful than a macro lens, well, at least for me, since I also sell real estate and most of my photos and videos will be house interiors, and an ultra wide lens will be extremely helpful. In terms of camera quality, the photos are still great. It's not that saturated compared to other smartphones, but it's not a bad thing per se since less saturated photos will be easier to edit in post. Photos are also clear, they're not that contrasty, which is also a good thing for me. One thing I noticed is that if you take a selfie with the sunlight, the saturation and the contrast go down compared to taking a selfie with an artificial light as your light source, which makes your photo more saturated and more contrasty. Overall, I like the camera. Even the macro lens is surprisingly good. I compared the macro lens of this one against the macro lens of the Poco M3, and the macro lens of the Hot 10 can take clearer photos and you can get closer with the subject using the macro lens of the Hot 10. Again, amazing cameras nonetheless. I just wish that there's an ultra wide lens. But hey, this phone is very affordable and still really worth it for the price.
This is the selfie video test for the Infinix 10. So this can take up to 2K in 30 frames per second. Comment down below what do you think of the quality for the video quality and the audio quality coming straight from the microphone of the Infinix Hot 10. Comment down below. This is the rear video test for the Infinix Hot 10. So you can take up to 2K 30 frames per second. So comment down below what you think of the quality of the video. So we don't have stabilization. So you can also comment on that. And the overall quality of the video, contrast of the video, the dynamic range, yeah, and the shifting of the colors of the dynamic range of the sky here, and the shifting back to the exposure, focusing on here on the grass on the foreground. So you can comment down below about the overall quality for taking videos using the Infinix Hot 10.
The Infinix Hot 10 is currently running Dolphin 7 on top of Android 10. Aside from the fact that it's really clean and it has lots of useful functions, such as the smart panel where you can do certain things by swiping from either the left or the right of the screen, then pausing for a second, the quick screen recording, and the game mode. Dolphin 7 really looks good since, again, it's clean and the color scheme is white and green, which are the main colors of Coco Martech and 2 of my favorite colors. The speaker quality is also good. The speaker is located at the bottom, but I prefer it to be located at the front since you already have the fairly bigger chin anyway. But the speaker quality is good nonetheless.
May sahod na, pero gumastos na naman. Walang hiya. Ang sarap magsamgyupsal.
Lastly, let's talk about the battery. The Infinix Hot 10 has a 5200 mAh of battery with 10 watts charging rate. Battery life is good too. My only concern is that it's still using the traditional micro USB for charging. If they made it a USB Type-C charging, this would easily be my favorite budget phone to recommend entering 2021. Charging time is slow. Based on my testing, charging from 16% to 73% took me 2 hours. That's relatively slow compared to the other phones right now, but at least you have a large 5200 milliamperes of battery to last a day. So that's it for my review. I'll be putting an affiliate link in the description box so you can buy the Infinix Hot 10 right now. Comment down below what do you think of this phone. Again, my name is Coco Martech and I'll see you in the next one.